Hey everybody, welcome to the Market Minute. We got 6 cards to look at today. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got Super Slam just coming around the corner in September. And also we have a BNR as of this recording tomorrow. So that can really shake some things up. So next week could be very interesting to see how the market responds to that BNR. But let's get into it right now. First one up, Palanteer Aeronaut. Currently the non-foil is sitting at 850. Rainbow foils and slash EA, because it is an EA. There is no regular rainbow foil of this card. Sitting at 56.98. That one's a little bit hard to pull. Inventory 57 non-foils, 23 of those EA rainbow foils. 3-month high low, I think we had a little bit of a blip in the system again, 30 cents. But if you look at the graph, we're seeing it dropping down towards that $5 range possibly. The high sitting at 22.99. That is clearly pre-order on release numbers there. Card is very strong. We're starting to see Puffin show up on stream and really flexing a little bit. She seems like she might just be just sub S tier, A tier, maybe in that B tier range. She can do some fun things, but I think consistency is hurting her a little bit here or there, and she needs a little extra help. Well, why are we talking about this card? Because Super Slam is coming, and we got a card spoiled for her that untaps to give it go again. Where currently in the high seas, her card's always tapped to give it go again or +1. Cloud Skiff, things like that. Some of her glue cards for her deck always asking to tap a cog. So I think you're running out of cogs, right, to like really put together those high chain link turns and those high damage turns. But if you're untapping and tapping, right, that starts stringing together a lot of damage. So that could be really interesting for her. So I think Palanteer is a little bit overlooked right now. I think Puffin's going to get better for sure. I don't know if she'll be quite meta, but this card is like one of her most powerful cards, right? With the getting +3 going up to 9 and destroy a defending card, which includes armor, which is rough. So keep an eye on this one. I think right now at 850, we're sitting all right. You look at that graph, right? It's going down, and then we just need up again, because I think that's just, you're seeing Puffin show up on streams and being talked about more, and her spoiler is giving her a little bit of extra juice. All right, next card here is Loan Shark. So I was pretty high on this card on release of High Seas. Just playing this out, getting 2 gold right off the rip is pretty good. I thought that the downside to this card about if you don't create a gold, you have to discard a card or lose 2 health. I figured in Gravy at least that's pretty easy fix, right? Because you can just discard an ally. But with the BNR coming out tomorrow, if gold generation is the hit on Gravy, which there is going to be some adjustments on Gravy, I'm almost positive, right? He's been doing very well. This card becomes very interesting. We also know that this card might be pulled less than other Majestics in the set. There was some talk about it. You look at the inventory right now, there's still an indicator that, this card, not very high inventory, right? 31 non-foils, 44 rainbow foils. Note on that rainbow foil, there is a gold version of this card sitting at $25. So if you're going to get the rainbow foil, I think people are just getting them gold foils. That's why we see that inventory. Non-foils are currently sitting at $7.65. Rainbow foils $9.70. Pretty close together. Again, gold foil is the bling version of this card. 3-month high low 508. High 27.37. Again, that's probably a pre-order number. It's definitely, there was some hype around this card again. It might have been shorted for sure. But I think if the BNR hits gold, this card becomes very interesting. It's a yellow card to target some of your other blues like Portside Exchange, etc., things like that. So it's definitely a card I'll be looking at if, say, Golden Tipple gets hit, your gold generation gets hit somehow in Gravy. So this card could become quite popular. So keep an eye on that. All right, and the next card here is Thickhead Hunter, coming from the Hunted. Non-foil is sitting at $3.48 right now. Rainbow foils $6.19. There is an EA version of this sitting at $24.99. So keep that in mind. Inventory, we have 60 non-foils, 25 rainbow foils. High-low, $2 is the low, $7 is the high. So this card really has seen no movement, really. The Hunted came out, doesn't really have a place. To be honest, Brutes don't really have a place in the meta, right? So there's really no need to look at this card until now. Super Slam's coming. We're getting a couple new Brutes. Obviously, Tough Nut isn't going to want to play this because you have to discard one of the 3 cards that you draw up. It's just not going to work, right? Maybe you could see it where you just block your hand or something like that, and then you can block the card. Maybe I'm wrong on this now that I'm talking through it. Maybe he does like to use this card because it counts as a 6, and if this is the last blocking card in your hand, you block 6 and then you don't discard a card. Yeah, maybe that works. Anyways, there's a lot of Bruce stuff coming. This card could see some play. It does block for 6. It's a husk. Attacks for 6 as well. I'm thinking about Reinhardt coming up as well. We got an armory deck coming from him. If you attack with this, you get to intimidate right off the bat. Possibly some fun interactions there, but really there could be some cards that just really synergize well with this card, and it's worth taking a look at, especially at $3, $3.50. If you don't have 3 and you want to play some brutes, might as well pick them up now. And then if your brutes are your main and you bling them out, that $24.99 for the EA I think is a deal. So check those out. Maybe it was a forgotten card, but EAs are hard to pull. And at $25, if I was a brute guy and I liked blinging them out, I would definitely buy a place at $25. All right, the next card here is Gone in a Flash. Non-foil sitting at $16.18. Rainbow foil sitting at $18.99. Again, we got that EA treatment sitting way above it, but that's why you see those prices so close together. 25 non-foils, 29 rainbow foils. 3-month high-low on the non-foil, just over $10 at just under $11 actually, and just under $20 at $19.99 for the high. You can see in the graph there, this card's just been bumping up. Acilio is becoming a force. People are figuring out that deck. He got a really good expansion slot card in the high seas that allows you to zap people with an instant, which is very good. And that kind of put the glue together with that deck, I think. And we're starting to see him really do some damage. And if you've ever played against an Acilio, you know that guy can really come out of nowhere and kill you. The other thing to note too is that, double check before the stream, we have not seen the wizard card or the lightning card out of the expansion slot. Not sure if they're in there for Super Slam, but with as many slots as we got, there's got to be one in there, right? And if they work with Acilio, if the wizards get just disruption card somehow, or there's a lightning card that works with him, another meld card, something, Acilio could really become a contender. Again, I think he's sitting like high A tier, looking to move into S tier. Gravy is one of his good matchups, but he's going to get knocked down a little bit. Maybe Assassins get knocked down, and then it's time for Acilio to go, right? So keep an eye on this card. It is a 3 of in every Acilio deck. It is an amazing card. This card, when Aurora and Acilio were both out, $30, $40, right? So I think this card right now, with that low of inventory, it's only 4-ish play sets away from $28 right now, or 11 cards. So this card could spike up very quickly, sitting at 25 in the inventory. All right, we're going to talk about Stonewall Gauntlet. This is a legendary from Mistveil. Currently, the rainbow foil is sitting at $36.89. The cold foil is sitting at $78.99. 21 rainbow foils, which is low, I think, right? 32 cold foils. That's inverted. Normally, it goes the other way, but that's very interesting. The high-low on the rainbow foil, though, $31 is the low. $40.99 is the high on this card. If you roll that back from 3 months to 6 months, the peak was $49.99. So this card is seeing play in and out. Right now it sees a little bit of play, but not too much. Again, generic equipment. Got to keep an eye on these cards. That's why I keep sneaking them in there, especially when they're going down in price or they're down to where they were earlier in the year at least. I don't really have any predictions for this card seeing play any more or less. But at 36, maybe if you were holding out when you saw it at 50 and you're like, it's just not a card that I can get right now. It's not a card that fits in any of my decks. Maybe at 36 or maybe 30, depending if this keeps going down, this is a card worth picking up and just slotting it in the binder at 30 instead of 50. So yeah, just keep an eye on this one. Generic, legendary. Always worth checking in on your generic legendary, especially the ones that are not top dog like Crown of Providence and Tunic and so forth. All right, and the last card here is Marvel Florian. So really this card hasn't really moved. You can see the high-low 27.72, the high 29.82. It's just one of my favorite heroes, so that's why I wanted to talk about. The Marvel sitting at $28. It's actually one of the higher Marvels for the young heroes, and that's the key I wanted to talk about. You can see there we got the Silver Age banner up. It's coming in 2026. And I mentioned this in my last stream, and I thought it would be good to mention it here as well as part of the market minute. I did this myself. I went out and got all the Runeblade Young Heroes, just preparing for Silver Age. I'm not really a Blitz guy myself, but I'm definitely willing to look at Silver Age. If they're announcing it already, I think there's probably going to be a push behind this format. I played some Project Blue, and the bands are really quite unique in that format, and I think they'll continue to see those like heavy, not heavy-handed, but just a lot of bands to like really get that 20 health format with the commons and rares in shape. When it becomes Silver Age, Project Blue shifts over to that. What's that mean? And like I said, I picked up on my young heroes right now. I think if Silver Age becomes very popular, you could see a lot of these young hero marbles go up in price quite a bit. Right now, I took a look. They're sitting around like $10 to $30 right now. Some of them are higher than the others, depending, but there's just really minimal use for them right now. I would say Blitz is a skirmish season format. A lot of people play it on the side. But if Silver Age becomes a really big thing and it gets new players in, new players even want to bling out their heroes. I think Marvel heroes are one of Ellis's biggest successes. And I think it really does give you that special feel when you play with a Marvel hero. So I could see a lot of these getting evaporated up. Inventory on the Florian, which is one of the more popular heroes in Blitz right now, is only at 20. I didn't go and spot check other heroes, but we're all sitting around like 20 to 30 copies of Marvel Young Heroes. Silver Age could really vacuum up a lot of those, and then these cards could become probably not as pricey as their CC counterparts, the adult Marvels, but they could definitely go up in price. So I did a little bit of future proofing myself for my collection and picked up all the Runeblades that I think I might play at $20, $25 or whatnot. And I'll just put them in the binder and then wait for 2026. I think we're probably going to get more Silver Age announcements. And then that will maybe move the price as well. So the time is now. If you have a favorite young hero, if you have a favorite hero in general, maybe think about picking up their young Marvel if you don't already have it, because it is on sale or possibly on sale right now. All right, that's going to do it, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll check you next time. Peace.